It is now after 10:30, Roy. Come on, that had to be a crank call.
No, I don't think so. She said she had some information about James Stenbeck, and she said she was only going to tell you and only you. And she said she'd call tonight. She didn't say she'd give you time to watch the evening news or to catch the last plane to New York.
You are going to trace the call when it comes in.
If it comes in, we've got special operators standing by. Personally, I think it's going to be a long wait.
Jessica, I'm sorry. I thought we'd be out of here.
Don't worry about it. If it's the right information, it could get Duncan McKechnie off the hook. I'm just worried about Hal. I just wish he'd relax a little bit.
Well, waiting for this call. He's missed being with Margot in New York and going to Lila's opening.
Yeah, well, that's probably for the best since Tom's going to be there. Anyway, the show should be over by now.
Yeah. I bet she was great.
Yeah.
Say, when are we going out there to see her?
Well, let me check with my folks first before we make any definite plans, okay?
Now, wait a minute, Miss J. If my meeting your parents is going to make you uncomfortable, why don't we just put it off?
I told you, Roy, it's not you. It's just that I just don't get along with them very well.
I don't believe it. I mean, look, I think that... Aren't they proud of your accomplishments?
Exactly the opposite. All my life, they've been thinking I've been trying to be better than them when all I've been trying to do is better myself. I didn't mean to get into this.
Detective Munson.
Oh, I'm so glad you answered. You've got to help me.
Start the trace. What's the problem?
It's James Stenbeck. He's trying to kill me. Oh, please, I have to talk quickly before he finds me.
Calm down. Tell me your name. Tell me where you're calling from.
I'm in Florida. You can find me... Oh, my God!
Very well done. Were you in the drama club at Ben Moore?
For 3 years. I'm sure they were convinced. And now the police think you're hundreds of miles away in Florida.
There's Ivan,
let's not go over there until she's through talking to them, okay?
Right?
Give me a chance to thank you anyway. Sit down. For all the help you've given us over the last few days.
I've loved it. I love every inch of that farm.
I know you do. You know, I was wondering, Sabrina, Ed Brewster says that the back loans have been paid on the farm.
Really? That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. But they were paid by someone who wants to remain anonymous. That was you, wasn't it?
I only wish it had been, but your mother declined my offer before. I wouldn't want to go against her wishes. Hi, what's going on? You two look so serious.
Well, Sabrina says that she is not our anonymous benefactor.
Oh.
I don't know who it could be.
Well, I think we're overlooking the obvious. I mean, who else has enough money to do something like that? Meg.
Well, it better not be Meg. She knows how we feel about Antonio's money.
Well, I know, but when has what we think stopped her from doing anything? I'll talk to her. I'm going to go up and check on Mama now. Bring Aunt Elizabeth up to see her.
Oh, do you think that's wise?
Well, Mama said she wants to see her. So, I'll talk to you later.
Why are you so uncomfortable around your Aunt Elizabeth?
I know I shouldn't blame her for what Josh did. But Iva was under her care and Uncle Henry's when she was out there. And when I think about what he did to her, a part of me hates them both.
Mama, please. Tell Aunt Emma the truth. You saw what he did to me. You saw the welts on my back, across my face.
The man is dead, Joshua. Let him rest in peace.
What about the living? When are you going to get some peace? Mama, I have a daughter. I want to hold her. I want to talk to her, and I can't. I know Lily is never going to forgive me. But if I can convince her and the Snyders that I've been honest with them about the hell that I went through when it all happened, maybe I can find some way back. Please give me that chance.
Mama's ready to see you now. I'll take you up.
I'll go with you and wait outside.
Elizabeth.
I know what Josh did to Ivor was horrible. But to many people, what I did to Franny is equally as horrible.
No. What happened between us happened out of love.
We hurt my sister deeply. We can only hope that it's not irrevocable. I couldn't bear that.
Neither could I.
Exactly. Seth, I never referred to that night as at the pond is a mistake, but you did many times. All I'm saying is that people do make mistakes. Sometimes bitter ones. But how terrible to be chained to that moment forever. Frozen in time. It's how people live their lives afterward. That's important, how they try to make up for it. Perhaps you should try to see that about Josh for your sake, if not for his.
Mama, I have a visitor for you.
Elizabeth. Hello. You came all this way.
I'll leave you two alone. I'll be right out.
Okay,
Sorry.
sweetheart. Hello. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better, Elizabeth. Ivor tells me that you're staying out at the farm.
Josh drove me out there. Of course, he didn't come in. He doesn't want to cause any more trouble.
I know that Ivor told you about what happened. And she came to see you about how his being here has caused friction in the family.
I've been trying to convince him to come back home with me, but he doesn't want to on account of Lily.
Yes, I'm sure that's why he wants to stay. Must be very hard for him, but after what he did to Ivor, Elizabeth, Josh has told me some things that, of course, it doesn't excuse what he did.
What has he told you?
That most of his childhood, that he was very badly beaten by Henry. Now, I confess to you, Elizabeth, that I didn't want to believe it, but I've always lived my life by the truth, and it's a little too late to stop now. Elizabeth, is what Josh told us the truth?
The anonymous caller called back?
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to trace it.
And what'd she say about James?
She said that James was trying to kill her, and she said that she was somewhere in Florida. And apparently somebody came into the room and hung up the phone.
So James is in Florida. I'm telling you, Hal, Corinne Lawrence is tied in somehow.
There's no definite connection to Corinne Lawrence at all, Barbara.
Wait a minute. You want to fill me in on this? What does Corinne Lawrence have to do with this?
Corinne Lawrence has a place down in Florida, and she was down there a few months ago, the same time James Stenbeck was.
Right, and we checked out her alibi, and it fits. Her house was undergoing some heavy renovations, and she had to be there.
Fine, fine. So she had an excuse to be there. That doesn't mean she wasn't meeting James, too.
Why, Barbara? We all know that Nick Costello was the contact here in Oakdale.
And I'm telling you, James has more than one contact here. He's a very careful man. I feel it, Hal. Corinne Lawrence is involved up to her neck.
I know that this must be very hard for you to talk about, Elizabeth.
You've got to understand something, Emma. Henry was such a good man in so many ways. At first, when Josh came running to me, crying, and I saw the bruises, I tried to pretend it wasn't happening. I told myself that he hurt himself falling down or some other lie. The truth was, Henry just lost control. Deep down, he was so angry about having to raise somebody else's child.
Elizabeth, didn't you ever try to stop him? Or...
Once. But he turned on me with all that anger.
Why didn't you tell somebody, try to get help?
Oh, partly because I was so ashamed. You know, what had happened between Josh's real father and me. And then, too, I felt that if I stood up to Henry in any way, that it might make things worse for Josh. I know now I should have taken him away, out of harm's way.
Have you said any of this to your son?
No. Well, the closest we ever came to talking about it was today. He asked me to come and tell you the truth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. I'm very glad that you did. But now I think that the person you have to talk to is Josh.